YouTube has changed the algorithm again! You know what that means? It's back to the drawing board. Alright, let's see. It's not looking good. The YouTube algorithm. An incredibly complex, almost ununderstandable vortex of information and magical computer guru garbage. No one truly knows how it works except me. What if I told you that all you have to do to get big on YouTube is... Surprise! It's a rant again. Everyone keeps talking about the YouTube algorithm. That's all you hear on social media, or anybody who's talking about growth on social media, or advertisements, or selling your online course, or whatever. Everyone is convinced that they have a plan to defeat the algorithm and just abuse it. And you know what? They're not wrong, but they're not right. Everyone's a little confused, and to me, I get really annoyed when everyone talks about the algorithm and blah 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 like it's some magical high deity that no one understands. Because it's really quite simple. All an algorithm is a math problem. What? Yes, an algorithm's just a big old math problem. It's not a generator that feeds out whatever, blah blah blah, I don't know. I don't know what people think the algorithm is, and I don't know what convinces them that they can beat it. I have a theory. I'm pretty convinced that the biggest YouTubers in the world don't really care too much about the YouTube algorithm. They do, they're aware of it, and they do certain things, but here's the thing about social media algorithms. Even Gary Vaynerchuk has said something about this. Now granted, he is very wise on social media, and he is very experienced in his consulting content behind the scenes of, all his posts on Instagram or whatever, but videos of him meeting with people are incredibly insightful, and one of the things he's talking about is soon, and in my opinion it's always been the case, is that the algorithms on social media will become commodities, and the marketing will become commodities, meaning that there's very little give and take, which I believe is already true. Now let me explain. The YouTube algorithm, the social media algorithms, they have one job and one job only, and that is to keep you on the site consuming more content. It's very simple. All that means is they just want to keep feeding you stuff you clearly like. Anything you interact with, anything that gets a reaction out of you, anything that gets you to share it, anything that gets you to continue watching it for its full duration is a big plus. They're going to promote that. That's it. That's the whole thing. There's no secrets, there's no secret code that you copy and paste in the description of your video. All you have to do is make stuff that people want to binge watch, people click on, people share, like, comment. That's it. So what I'm saying here is, if you want to grow on these social media sites, and again, don't listen to me, check my subscriber count, clearly I don't know, but based on what I'm seeing, all of the people that are dancing around with this algorithm, reading the crap out of every update that YouTube stuffs out and all the terms and conditions and studying all this stuff and looking at all their metrics, are missing the point. They're catering to what the algorithm wants rather than making good quality content that's probably going to keep people watching, which is going to satisfy the algorithm. People are looking at the algorithm like it's this thing they need to figure out. They don't. Hopefully, it's just going to keep continuing getting better and feeding the stuff that people want to see. So all you have to do is become the thing that people want to see. It doesn't get much simpler than that. That's why Gary Vee and all these other people preach so heavily on production. A lot of YouTubers will say, they didn't go anywhere until they put out a lot of videos, which is also part of the algorithm. If they're not seeing a lot of content from you consistently, they're not really going to put it above you, which sucks for smaller creators that can't be doing it as much as like full-time creators, but at the same time, that's kind of right. I mean, if you're not putting out as much content, why would YouTube promote you on their site? Why would anything promote you on their site? And that's how things so easily go viral, is because people like it. They share it and it blows up. That's the beauty of the internet, is how exponential, beyond exponential, the growth can become. Again, I'm no social media wizard. This has just been a rant saying that I think everyone is putting way too much weight on the algorithm. Don't get me wrong, there's some boxes you want to check off. You know, you want to make sure that your content is good and shareable. You probably do want to have good hashtags, a good title, a good thumbnail. You want good content, you want good tags, all of that. Definitely it needs to be there because it is a competitive environment. You're not going to go very far without it. I think people rely too heavily on trying to trick the algorithm into getting them anywhere. Based on what I've heard, is what YouTube is going to be looking at more heavily is watch time. If people are not watching your videos, especially binge watching them or staying on your channel or whatever, if people are just not watching them, then you're not putting out stuff people want to see. I'm not coming off a high horse here, alright? I don't have great stats here, but that's what I see. I think people put way too much weight on the YouTube algorithm. Before I go, I have one point I want to touch on. Have you noticed how anytime you show a slight interest in anything, the whole algorithm starts to redirect you towards that sort of thing? Or you make one search and all of a sudden it thinks you're all about it? In my opinion, it's a little overly sensitive right now and kind of annoying. For example, my Instagram feed every so often will, for some reason, think that I'm into music producing, even though I have never touched it in my life. Every so often, it will get a little wild hair up its thing, and it will think that I am interested in music production and start feeding me stuff related to that. It's still pretty flawed and overly sensitive in my opinion. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, or subscribe if you enjoy this video. What do you think? Do you think the algorithm and appeasing the algorithm and doing a little rain dance and maybe making an animal sacrifice to the algorithm is worth it? Should you do it? How often should you sacrifice per week? Let me know.